Welcome to the show. It's time to dive in. Talking sports with Evan. Let the fun begin. From the Brewers to the Packers, we cover it all. Wisconsin pride, we stand tall. The baggers on the field making history. With every touchdown, it's a victory. From Camp Randall to the court, we chill out. Wisconsin sports, we make our state proud. Feel the energy, the passion in the air. Join the conversation, we got stories to share. From the Bucks' big wins to the Brewers' great plays, we'll keep you entertained through all the game day. Sports with Evan, it's where we belong.
Good evening, happy Friday, and this is Talking Sports with Evan, a rare Friday edition of the show. And thank you so much for watching live on YouTube and X for those that are going to be watching live on there. Thank you for those that are going to listen to the podcast later on Spotify or anywhere you get your podcast. And if you are interested in finding the show on Spotify, you can scan the QR code in the top corner of the screen, and that'll take you to Spotify. Before we get going into the meat and potatoes of today's show, and I'm going to get into what that is right now, going to be talking some Milwaukee Brewers, the Oakland debacle, I guess I'll call it. And not really Oakland, the Athletics debacle in Vegas. Going to talk a little bit about that series. I'm going to talk All-Star game, and which Brewers should be going to the All-Star game and which ones should be potentially starting in the All-Star game, and unfortunately which ones should be that won't be for various reasons. I'm going to talk some Green Bay Packers, the kicking game in the stealing all the headlines once again for the Packers, as Smack has had it a little bit rough to start OTAs, and for a team that lost in the first round of the playoffs basically because of your lack of kicking game, it's not what you want to see. So I'm going to talk a little bit about that and see if it's something we should be worrying about right now, and then just give my general thoughts on OTAs in general, because apparently Lucas Van Ness looks like the next Myles Garrett helmets, and Jordan Morgan had some struggles against him. A lot of talk. And back to the Brewers. Quinn Priester, what do we do with him? Not responding really well in rehab assignments, and now he's been placed back on the IL, back in Milwaukee for further test and examination. So we'll see what happens there with him. So you can find the show on YouTube and X, Talking Sports with Evan on YouTube, at Evan with Sports on X. You can find my Talking Sports with Evan page on Facebook. Just look up Talking Sports with Evan. Don't go live on Facebook anymore, because the last time I went live on Facebook, they flagged me for a copyright violation, and I still haven't figured out what that is, and I don't want to deal with that BS. So I'm not doing it on Facebook anymore. But you can always join in on the conversation over on Facebook when I post thoughts on there or opinions, or ask for your thoughts and opinions. You're welcome to joining in on the conversations. But I do want to let everybody know, Bucked Up, they are a company who specialize in workout products, pre-workouts, creatine, protein, post-workouts, merchandise, apparel, things like that. And they have their 10th birthday sale where everything on their site is 50% off. If you go to Bucked Up's website and use promo code TalkingSports25 in the checkout, you're going to get 50% off anything you order. Energy drinks. If you drink energy drinks, Bucked Up has some good ones. They got hydration drinks. They got lightly carbonated protein drinks. You name it, they got a lot. And if you ever want to try them out, right now is the time to do it. As I mentioned, 50% off everything on their website from now until Monday. Monday is the day the sale goes away. So right now would be the time to do it. Just use promo code TalkingSports25 for that 50% off any Bucked Up product. I got some nice stuff coming. I got a couple new pre-workouts, flavors I want to try. I got a amino acids that I'm going to take, and got a new gym bag. I need a new gym bag. Mine's getting a little, so I need a new gym bag. So I got all of that for a really good price. And you can get anything you want on their website for 50% off. Yes, 50. Go to Bucked Up, use promo code Talking Sports 25, and you will get 50% off your order. Do it today, do it tomorrow, do it Sunday, do it Monday, because, hey, after Monday, the sale is done. Dunzo if you don't act now. And this would be a great time to try the products that Bucked Up has put out for a very good deal. And they got some great products. I've used their protein in the past. I've used their pre-workouts quite regularly. I use their creatine, so definitely something you want to try. Starting off with the Green Bay Packers and OTAs, or mini camps as they used to be called, and give my thoughts there. And the first is the elephant in the room in Trey Smack. I said a couple weeks ago on this show, a few weeks ago, when they released Brandon McManus, my question was why? Why are we releasing Brandon McManus now? You already gave him his $1 million roster bonus. And we've seen what happens when we try to depend on rookie kickers. Andres Carlson, anybody? Dave Rayner, anybody? Rayner led the Packers to draft Mason Crosby, and Andres Carlson led for a huge domino effect that eventually got McManus to Green Bay, and they drafted Trey Smack at the end of the 6th round and basically just handed him the job. Hasselbeck, however you say his name, the teacher's still there, but basically it's Trey Smack's job. And we've seen how rookie kickers work, especially with the Packers. And the Packers are trying to be a championship team. They want to be a Super Bowl contender. You can't throw another year away depending on, not knowing if your kicker's going to make it or not. They would have beat the San Francisco 49ers, and Jordan Love's first year starting would have went to the NFC Championship game to play the Detroit Lions in 2023 if Andres Carlson could make field goals. They would have beat the Bears last year if McManus made field goals. McManus, different issues on a rookie kicker, but you get the point. We have had a harder job as Packer fans, and the organization has had a harder job replacing Mason Crosby, a Packer Hall of Famer, than they have Aaron Rodgers, NFL. Who would have thought? 3 years, 2023, when they traded Rodgers to the Jets, when they let Mason Crosby go, that they would have a harder job replacing Mason Crosby than they have Aaron Rodgers. Because Jordan Love, yeah, he's not Aaron Rodgers, but he's probably a top 5 to 6 quarterback in the league right now. I know a lot of people don't want to admit that, and a lot of them are Packer fans that don't want to admit that because they're still pissed off they took him in the first round instead of drafting T. Higgins, who many think would have put the Packers in the Super Bowl that year, which we saw how well rookie wide receivers work with Matthew Golden. But I'm just tired that we're going to waste another championship year, potentially, on the leg of a rookie kicker. And yes, he can get it figured out. Yes, he can, misses in OTAs aren't going to necessarily mean he's going to miss kicks in training camp and miss kicks in the preseason and miss kicks in the regular season. But it's frustrating. It is very frustrating seeing this. We've seen this story before in the 2023 with Andres Carlson. And now we're seeing the sequel right now in Trey Smack. Now, Ryan Longwell was on Wilde and Tausch on ESPN Wisconsin. You can find that on their ESPN Wisconsin app, or you can find it on their social media channels or on YouTube. He was on Wilde and Tausch, ESPN Milwaukee, ESPN Madison for the YouTube channel. But he was on Wilde and Tausch, and he was talking about some of the issues that kickers have when they come to Lambeau Field. the issue that Dave Rayner had, the issue that Andros Carlson had, and the issue that Smack is showing thus far as kicker of the Green Bay Packers, and talked about how those three guys, Smack especially, tend to kick the ball high. They kick a trajectory. When you have the wind in Lambeau Field, it's going to push those higher kicks to the right. Got to have a lower trajectory. And Ryan Longwell did say that he talked with Trey Smack about that. He's had conversations with the special teams coach. It's what Mason Crosby did in Green Bay. It's what Ryan Longwell did. It's Chris Jackie did. They Packer Hall of Fame kickers. And it worked. It worked for them. And that's what Trace Mack has to figure out. Now, the nice thing is, like I said, figure it out. But I'm just not ready to waste another because we're trying to have a kicker learn on the fly. Hopefully it's something that Matt gets corrected between now and the first day of training camp, or it's going to be very annoying and stressful. We might want to get McManus back on the phone and see if he's willing to come back to Green Bay and kick for us again. McManus saved the Packers in 2024 when Carlson was really, really bad. And we got him in 2025. He wasn't quite as good, but we may need to bring him back if Smack doesn't figure it out, because I can't stand to see another season wasted due to a leg of a kicker. And the new special teams coach puts an emphasis not kicking the ball through into the end, which the Packers always tried to do with McManus. They always tried to kick it in through the end zone instead of kicking it about short of the end zone and forcing it to have to return it or take it out. Hopefully, the new special teams coach does a better job of the kickoff, role than the former coach did, who is now, I believe, at Clemson, but that's besides the point. OTAs, I love how people react and overreact to things they see at OTAs. Lucas Van Ness is dominating during OTAs, and Jordan Morgan's had some struggles against Van Ness. I don't really care. It's OTAs. Like, they're not wearing pads. They're not wearing anything. It's going to benefit the defender anyways, because all he's got to do is try to go around you. It's not, much, you're not wearing full pads. Training camp is when I'm going to be a little more worried about the reports that we're seeing regarding LVN and Jordan Morgan. If we're still seeing that consistently in training camp and we see it translate to preseason games with Morgan continuing to struggle, then I'll be worried. But we overreact to things we see in OTAs and run with it and act like I don't even know. But we just need to, tap the brakes and relax a little bit, and we'll be fine. So that's it for Packer chatter. Now I'm going to jump to Milwaukee Brewers. And the Brewers played the Athletics in Las Vegas in a AAA stadium. And it was not very good baseball, any way you want to write it. And I would say the same thing if the Brewers took 2 out of 3 or if they swept. I would say the exact same thing I'm saying right now. That field was awful. You're playing in a place with no humidity, 100-degree heat during the day, and the balls are going to fly out. And then you get any breeze, any wind, and that ball's going to fly. And that's what you saw. All those home runs, which, yes, it benefits the Brewers as they jumped up the home run leaderboard. They're now, I think, top 25 maybe in baseball for home runs hit, rather than number 29 or 30. So they did climb that ladder a little bit. But that field was awful. And, You're killing two teams' pitching staffs, two teams' bullpens for basically what we just saw. Those pitchers, for the most part, are basically throwing batting practice out there. You're higher altitude, you have warm air, and you have very little humidity, very little moisture in the air that's going to help knock that ball down, and it's just going to sail. We saw a 488-foot home run on Monday. We saw a 15-14 extra inning game on Monday in that piece of crap field. Thankfully, when the Athletics moved to Vegas full time, that place is going to have a dome. So we shouldn't see that as frequently as we did. But they didn't have to have a quick showcase in Vegas when the teams aren't going to play there for another 2 years. Thankfully, the Brewers don't have to play there again. Thankfully, the Brewers are done playing at that stupid AAA park. The Athletics come to more, and the following year, the new ballpark will be open, and they'll be playing with the roof. So, I wasn't a fan of it. It was rough to watch. It was rough to follow, and I'm glad that the Brewers are done in Vegas because that was rough. Brandon's, tip your hat to him. He's a guy who's been known to give up home runs. Gave up a home run, but he had 6 quality innings overall, so that's promising to see. Your best pitcher you have in Kyle Harrelson didn't play very well there, but Sprout, it would have been interesting to see Mizorowski's stuff. Is he going to be able to have the spin and the drop and the cut and all those things in those conditions? But it's not just the pitching that was affected, it was the fielding too. The infield played very fast. Ground balls that would be routine ground balls would have been fielded and thrown out in any other ballpark. But in that one, in Vegas, in that AAA ballpark, the ball's flying through. And the A's didn't have the problem. Yes, I get it. They didn't have some of the same issues that the Brewers did with fielding. But the thing is, a lot of the players on the Athletics right now, they played in this ballpark. They know the ballpark. They didn't play there that long ago, so they're used to it. And, things went fine. So, but I'm glad we're done with Vegas. The All-Star game is roughly a month-ish away, and voting has started. Have you voted for your All-Stars yet? And want to take a minute to kind of talk about the All-Star game and what players I think have the best opportunity to make the All-Star game, and which ones should but won't, and start, and which ones should start but won't. So I'm going to go quick overview of that. Well, I think Bryce Terang will be a starter in the All-Star game. He will be the starting second baseman. Nico Horner has kind of dropped off a little bit, and I don't really think there's very many other options out there in second base than Bryce Terang. I think he will be your starting second baseman. I think he'll be the only starter because I think Contreras, who deserves to start, you have Baldwin, the reigning Rookie of the Year at the catcher position. Jake Bauers, who's had an outstanding first half of the season, he's going to have a hard time getting a chance to start or even make the All-Star game because that first base position is deep. You also got Bryce Harper, and Philadelphia is hosting the game. Matt Olson's putting up great numbers, just to name a couple. So he's kind of bogged down. So those are two positions that you're not going to have starters in. I think starters-wise, and DH, Yelich is deserving, but I just think he's going to have a hard time getting the votes to start. Terang's the only starter, but I do think the Brewers have your William Contreras, your Christian Yelich, as of right now, I think are all-star worthy guys. I think Jackson Cheerio would be a no-brainer if he didn't miss the first half of the year. First month of the year. He would be a no-brainer with the way he's been playing. Jacob Mizorowski's a no-brainer. He should start the All-Star game, but that's going to likely go to Christian Sanchez, assuming he doesn't start the Sunday before. But I think Philly, knowing the game is in Philly, is definitely going to have some manipulation to guarantee that he starts this year. They're going to do some manipulation with the rotation, so he's not starting on Sunday to make sure that he's going to start in the All-Star game, which is fine. Sanchez is having a great year, too. Sanchez is deserving of it, but Mizorowski definitely deserves to be in the All-Star game. Kyle Harrelson deserves to be in the All-Star game. And that's probably about it for the Brewers right now. Guys who deserve to be there. Not all of them are going to be there. Jake Bauers is not going to be anywhere near the All-Star game. Yelich likely won't be. It's likely going to be Contreras and Terang and Mizorowski. That's probably going to be it. They don't have the fan base to get them voted in as starters. And when it comes to picking the reserves, it's not going to be Bauers. It's not going to be Yelich. It's not going to be Jackson. It's not going to be anybody else. And it's just going to be Contreras, Terang, and Mizorowski. But that's fine. The Brewers have, the season to worry about. First place in the Central, still playing pretty good baseball. Have a game against the Phillies, and who are red hot at the moment. It is Mizorowski Day on the Hill, and he's going up against Banks, who's going to be an opener. But that's my thought on the All-Star game. Now, Quinn Priester. Quinn Priester's had some nerve issues. He had a procedure done to try to relieve the nerve, and he's still struggling gripping the baseball. He's still struggling with his command. He's still struggling getting his velocity back up because he can't grip the ball. People don't realize that when you grip the baseball, how hard or loose you can grip it determines, that velocity a little bit. If you can grab a strong grip of that ball, you can throw it harder. But if you're not feeling the ball right, if you're still having numbness in your fingers, you're going to have a hard time gripping that ball. You're going to have a hard time getting it where you want it, and you're going to have a hard time getting the speed where you want it. And that's what Quinn Priester is dealing with right now. He hasn't gotten back to the Quinn Priester that we saw last year before the issue became a problem, which was in the playoffs, and he worked through it. But I don't know if he needs surgery. That'll end the season, or I don't know if he just needs more rest. The team to figure out, and thankfully they pulled him in Milwaukee, and they're going to get the nerve specialist to see if their nerve is still a problem. If the nerve's still, have to have surgery. He's going to have surgery, pressure on the nerve. If the nerve isn't the problem, then I honestly don't know what the next step is for Milwaukee, for Quinn Priester. I don't know. I don't know what the next step's going to be. I don't know if he's ever going to pitch again. I don't know if he's ever going to be an effective pitcher again. But with that said, thinking about pitching, the Brewers probably definitely need to maybe add another starter or two, because we are on the 1-year anniversary of Jacob Mizorowski making his big league debut. He's going to be highest innings he's ever thrown pretty soon. Kyle Harrelson is going to be highest innings he's ever thrown pretty soon. You're going to need another arm. Brandon Woodruff, you can't depend on. He can't stay healthy. And I don't know if he's ever going to be back to, being what he was even last year when he came off the injured list. His velocity was 88, 86, whatever. The last time he was on a big league hill. I don't know if he's ever going to be able to consistently push mid-90s again. He's trying to lower arm angle now to maybe give him a little bit more of an advantage, knowing that he can't hit that 95, 96 consistently anymore. But you can't depend on him. Quinn Priester is not coming back anytime soon. DL Hall is not coming back anytime soon with his injury. Now, the blessing in the skies potentially could be Logan Henderson is now going to be coming back in July. So you're not going to have all the wear and tear on him and all the extra innings on his arm. So you're going to be able to limit some of his innings by having to wait until July to get him back. But I still think you still need one more arm. And I'm not saying that's Scooble, but you got to make a trade. And I think the Vegas series showed just how much you need to make a trade for another bat, too. Because if it wasn't for the home runs, the Brewers weren't scoring. And the home run stopped on Tuesday about midway through the game, and the Athletics bullpen completely dominated Milwaukee. And the same thing happened on Wednesday. So now maybe this time next week, Giannis has a new home, and we'll talk about that if he does. But I'm just tired of all the rumors being flown around and everything nonstop. It's getting annoying. Like, just wait till it happens to report on it. Like, yes, the Heat are the front runners right now, but let's just wait till it happens to really report on it and talk about it and analyze it and break it down. If it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, it doesn't. I'm still 60-40 that it doesn't. I think they figured things out in Milwaukee to keep him, and I think the Bucks retool the roster to his liking to try to make a deep. Outside of the Knicks, the Eastern Conference is wide open, and who knows how long the Knicks are going to be good. So why not, convince him to come back for one more year? Maybe you get John Morant. You have a coach who's pretty good, and try to and keep that 10th pick and get a young guy who can contribute right away, and boom, there you go. So this has been Talking Sports with Evan. Thank you so much for tuning into the show. Hope you have a great and wonderful weekend. Remember, Bucked Up, they are having a 50% off sale on everything on their website that you can order now. Go to Bucked Up's website and use promo code at checkout, Talking Sports 25. Talking Sports 25. Put that in and order your fitness stuff today and get it while the sale is hot. So with that said, thank you for listening to and talking and watching today's show. I'll get back at you all next week with another episode of Talking Sports with Evan. Until then, have a great rest of your night, and I will catch you next week.